Hello all, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I just want to talk about the top 10 tips for eBay beginners that I wish I knew before I started listing on the platform. I've been selling on eBay now for 2 years, but I do wish I took a little bit of time to learn some tips before I started selling, because what I've had to do more so recently is go back and correct a lot of old items, which takes a lot of time. So we'll start with tip number 1. My advice would be, where possible, to list on a desktop, whether that be a PC, an iPad, what has the full eBay page. The reason behind this is you can enter a lot more information on the desktop than you can on the eBay app. Now don't get me wrong, I think the eBay app is brilliant. I use it all the time. I use it for, especially out when sourcing, to look items up. I have also listed up items on the eBay app before, but this has caused me a few problems where I'm having to go back and correct a few things. So yeah, tip number 1, I would say, where possible, use a desktop. But if you can't use a desktop as a beginner, the eBay app is absolutely fine. You might just have to go and correct a few things in the future. Tip number 2 for me is to know your fees. Now I'm not talking about just what you buy and what you sell the item for, I'm talking about everything in between. And I was a little bit naive when I first started eBay to think if I pick something up for £10 and it sold for £50, I've made £40 and done a great job. But after you take all the eBay fees and all the extra costs involved, including your postage, you haven't made anywhere near that £40 profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link a free eBay calculator for you guys to use in the description here. And what it will do, it will show you exactly what all the fees are, and it will give you a real feel of how much you actually are going to make. So when you're out sourcing for items, you can put up this calculator on your phone and it will really give you a feel of what the profit in the items is actually going to be. Tip number 3 for me is to get to know your postage costs. Now this is so important because you might pick up an item and feel you're going to make a good bit of profit, and all of that profit quickly disappears when it comes to postage. My advice is, and what I've done, is buy a pair of scales off eBay. I think I paid £15 to £20 for a pair of electronic scales. And when you start, weigh every single item. You quickly get to know the weight of feel of things, really. It sounds really weird, but even just picking up, 5 games, for instance, you get to feel that they are under 1 kg, but 6 might take it over. So it's the little things you'll get to know when picking up stock. So yeah, postage costs are so important, and learn that as quick as possible. Tip number 4 is all about packaging. So packaging materials do cost money. You can get a lot of boxes for free. So I'd recommend going to a local garden centre, local supermarket, to see what boxes they are chucking out. Most of the time, especially with a garden centre, they love the fact that you've turned up to take loads of their boxes, so do take advantage of that. But when you are an everything seller, and most of the time when starting out you will need different size boxes, poly mailers, bubble mailers, the list is endless, all the packaging tape, etc. So keep that in mind again when picking up items, because you are going to have to ship this item potentially to a customer, and as I say, packaging materials can add up. While we're on postage and packaging, I want to talk about shipping for the item as well. So when you first start with eBay will actually hold your funds back until the customer has received the item, whether that be the tracking shows the customer's received the item or they have left you a positive feedback. So really important, when you are selecting the courier company you use to post items, make sure it's a tracked service, especially when you are new, so eBay can keep track on when the items arrived, and then they can release your funds to help you reinvest in more stock. Something else to remember when you are starting, you need to make sure you have some money aside to pay for the postage, as I say, because eBay holds that money back. Make sure you haven't used all your money to buy stock, and then when it comes to postage you haven't got money to ship the items. So you need to steady that ship at first, but after a while, after a number of good transactions, eBay will then start releasing the money immediately for you. Customer service is very important on the eBay platform, and this is my tip number 6, to offer amazing customer service. Now, I went above and beyond when I started a new seller because I really wanted eBay to see I was trying to do a good job. So what I had done, I messaged the customer once the item had arrived to them, just to check everything was okay and to check they were happy. If the customer was happy, I would then ask them to leave feedback, because it really does help me in my store. So a lot of customers would leave me feedback off the base of that message. So it might be worth doing. A lot of customers won't leave feedback, and that's okay. But as long as eBay can see the item has been delivered, they will make sure them funds are released as quick as possible. While we're on the subject of customer service as well, something I want to highlight is make sure you keep the messages within the eBay platform. eBay tracks all the messages sent and received, okay? And especially when you are a new seller, you will get people trying to scam you. So they will send you a message with their mobile phone number or an email address, and what they'll do, they'll be clever and they'll try and split up the number so it gets through the messaging system. Now, if you was to reach out to this person and try and sell the item off eBay, you have the risk of your account being suspended or permanently banned. and it's not worth the risk, and actually they are out to scam you. So make sure all the messages are kept through the eBay system. If anyone asks you to sell the item off of eBay, reply back to that message and say all my sales are through eBay. If you are interested in the item, please purchase through eBay. Again, just so eBay knows you're doing a good job. My next tip number 7, is tell people what you do. Now, I was a bit fearful when I first started selling on eBay that people would think, oh, he's a bit of a Del boy, you know, he buys items cheap and he tries to sell them for a lot of money. That's not a business. But actually, a lot of family and friends have been so supportive and actually donated me things to list on eBay. So when you are building your store, money can be a bit tight. Take them free items, but only if they are good quality items. That is so key, because there's no point listing rubbish on your eBay store, stuff that's just going to sit around for months and months and months and cause you more headaches in the future. So it is quite difficult sometimes to turn things down from friends and family, but explain to them the reasons why you are doing that. You want to put quality items in your eBay store to make sure that things sell quick and you can turn over that stock and reinvest the money in more stock. Tip number 8 is all about starting slow. Okay, and that might sound silly when you maybe took the plunge to commit to eBay on a full-time or part-time basis, but actually building your store slowly will benefit you in the future, and this is one of the big mistakes I made. So my advice would be to list 3 to 5 items a day consistently, but make sure they are quality listings. My mistake was trying to get so many items up as quick as possible in the store, poor titles, poor pictures, no item specifics filled in, and that has meant I have had to then go back and correct a lot of old items. So my advice would be start slow, build steadily, and you'll have a really successful eBay business in no time. Tip number 9 is all about title structure, and having a good title structure is the number one thing that is going to help your items be found and sell quicker. So your title cannot have bad spelling, bad grammar, and cannot be structured appallingly. Put yourself in the customer's point of view. How are they going to search for your item? Now, the good news is eBay actually helps with this, and what you can do is when you go on to search for an item, start searching your item, and eBay will show you maybe the top of 15 of the search results. Now, I would always pick the items that are appearing at the top of the search results. Click on them, see how other people have listed the items, and that will give you a real idea of the structure, whether it needs to be the title, whether it needs to be the size first, the color third, sorry. That is a really good way for you to start structuring titles well. That will increase your sales, and that will make sure that people can find your item. And for me, the final tip number 10, if you are serious about being an eBay reseller, whether that be part-time or full-time, get an eBay store. Now, they do cost a little bit of money, but actually the savings you make within the eBay store counteract the cost of having the store itself. So I would start with the basic store. That's where I started with. You can then use things such as coupons, sales, markdowns, promotions. You can send newsletters. You can run more reports, such as the listing quality report I spoke about the other week in my video. I would recommend everyone to get an eBay store, and you definitely will not regret it. It pays for itself, as I say, within a month of good sales. There you have it, guys, my top 10 tips for eBay as a beginner. I hope you find these helpful. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help the channel, and I hope to see you in future videos. Thank you.